No COD points were spent in the making. You get the point. Hello everybody, it has been a hot minute since a little Q&A action, so why not? I don't know how I'm going to edit this yet with the drops in the background. I'm not really going to be commenting on any of that because I don't particularly care what I get in these things at this point. Just gotta scoop up all the United Front stuff. We might get a couple new heroics, doing a whole ass 200 of each again, commons and rares, and I'll recap the interesting loot at the end. So I might speed it up or something to make this more watchable and not an hour long, so I can pick some questions to answer, not necessarily do every single one. Thought it'd be fun though, since if you haven't noticed, I have completely run out of original content that I think is interesting enough to warrant making at this point in the year, aside from continuing to play through the campaign, of course, which is fun, but I consider that to be side filler content anyway. So before I answer any questions, I will ask one. Is there anything you would like to see from me? I don't know what that would be that I would jump on, because odds are I'm not just gonna dive into some other big game if you say, oh, play this thing, but anything COD related, topic related, I don't know, it's not your job to come up with ideas for me, but I may as well ask if there's something you want to see, or get some feedback. Like a second ago, I said there were no videos I think are worth making. Let me know, maybe that's an idiotic attitude, maybe I'm just being a fool. I could easily make more videos about news stuff like the Black Ops 4 beta being announced, or the World War II weekly community recap stuff. I do stay on top of all of it, but in my head I just don't think there's enough there to justify a video. Like last week, not much happened. This week they said they were given sneak peeks of the Master Prestige rewards, plural, which I was excited about, thought maybe I'll cover this stream, but then they teased one level 1000 reward and immediately moved on to banana cupcakes, so I'll just wait until the update comes out. If I can cover everything by retweeting a single tweet, I assume people will think about a video. Well, why'd you make this? I already know this. You didn't need to talk for 5 minutes about it. But maybe that's a dumb attitude to have. I get it in my head that, of course, everybody follows COD news as closely as I do, so covering it would be redundant, and that's something people would look down upon. But I guess there's nothing wrong with making more videos. Not every video has to be justified by being unique. If you think it's dumb, you just don't click on it. So maybe I'm just getting in my own head. You can let me know if making more straightforward videos like that would be a good or a bad thing, because I feel bad uploading nothing but campaign videos, and my only plans after that are to cover future World War II content waves and DLC that I find interesting, like covering the full title update coming very soon, probably Tuesday, and then of course the BO4 beta coming August 3rd, and the weekend after that, Blackout coming later. So that's that, bit of a long-ass intro, but these Q&A videos don't really have a purpose that we have to hurry up and get to, so I don't feel bad. Onward with some of your questions, which I gathered on the Twitter as usual. Are you going to play Blackout mode on BO4? Well, yeah, I definitely plan to. Depending on how it works out, I may play far more of the Blackout mode than the regular multiplayer, or I may barely play it at all, but only time will tell. Would you rather never play COD again, or stand up and wipe? Of course, if you haven't watched previous Q&As, this is a good callback, continuing the saga of the standing up to wipe topic. Well, I guess I'd have to never play COD again. I mean, there are plenty of fun games out there to try. I could play other things, but if I were to be standing up to wipe, then clearly I must have lost a great deal of my mental capacity, so that would be pretty sad. I hope I'm never that far gone. Do I think BO4 will live up to the hype? I mean, in my circles, I don't feel like there is a ridiculous amount of hype. I think the zombies looks cool, and the Blackout has potential, but I'm not that thrilled by the multiplayer hero shooter type thing, and any hype there was has kind of been overshadowed by the good old Black Ops Pass. And Blackout, like I said, lots of potential, but I don't expect it to be huge because of the paywall barrier to entry, and I fear it could turn out to be a bit of a mess. Treyarch has a pretty good track record, so maybe I should give them more credit, but it feels like a lot of things still need work. I know they said they never planned on having a campaign and all that, but I think they did, and I think Blackout has been pretty rushed, and that might end up showing at launch. From some of the leaks, it sounded like the vehicles aren't even implemented yet, and it's still lacking polish in other areas. They may struggle to hit the player capacity people are expecting. It sounds like it isn't reasonable to expect 100-player games, so I really don't know how smooth the launch of BO4 will be. I'm not expecting that smooth. AN94 versus Scar H. Interesting choice of two weapons to compare. If you mean in real life, I have no idea. If you mean in COD, then I guess I've had more fun with the Scar H, with it being in both Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 2, if I recall. Two of my favorite COD games, while the AN94 I only remember in Black Ops 2. But, I don't know, both solid weapons. favorite anime and favorite restaurant. Well, aside from Cory in the House, of course, I don't watch any anime, so I got nothing there. And favorite restaurant is a tough one. I very rarely eat out anywhere, and Canada doesn't have as many cool fast food options as the great land down south. I can't think of one restaurant I feel enthusiastic enough to call my favorite. Except this is gonna sound dumb because I assume it's trashy, but I don't even know. There are no Olive Gardens up here. I've only been there like a dozen or so times whenever I'm in the US, and it's really damn good for like no money. I could eat those infinite breadsticks and that like chicken gnocchi soup for, what, like $5 and not even need to order anything else. It's fantastic. Excited for BO4. Yeah, I'm moderately looking forward to trying the beta, at least. More so the Blackout beta, that'll come later on. And when would I get a Switch? Not sure, maybe in a couple of years for Diamond Pearl Remastered. Noticed the airsoft rifle in a video, yes indeed. Do I enjoy the hobby? You're kind of new, trying to get more involved in it. Well, that's cool. I know some people who are into it. I myself am just a big fat phony. I got a couple rifles because I think they're cool and fun to use as props and shoot at targets in the backyard. I have no intentions of actually getting into the sport or going to a field, but it does look like a lot of fun. Hope you enjoy getting into that. I should get to the DM questions before I forget. Can you talk about your wisdom teeth experience? Because I'll be getting them out soon. Yeah, for sure. I can do a little story time. I guess it makes sense that a good number of you out there would be in that 17 to 25 demographic where you might be dealing with them. And yeah, if you didn't know, it's something I mentioned in a campaign episode. I got mine taken out a couple weeks ago. Part of why I slipped into not uploading much again. Anyway, if you've got anxiety about getting it done or something, I wouldn't worry about it at all. I guess it can be different for everyone, but I found it to be very tame. I went in there, got all the normal surgery stuff, a little clip on your finger, tubes on your nose, all that. I went with the IV sedation because they were doing all four. I'd rather not be awake for that. I was complimented on my large, easy-to-find arm vein. You know it, my right arm gets plenty of exercise. And then you're just gone, lights out. And then you're back before you know what happened. People told me amnesia was common, that my memory was going to be a little messed up and hazy for that whole day, but that was not my experience at all. I remember waking up in the room as an aide person had to rip the couple pads off my chest, which I remember hurt because I am quite a hairy individual, but right away I was trying to do some mental checks to see if I was myself, if I was aware of everything, and I definitely was, and my memory of the day is completely intact. Maybe I just have the world's best liver because it filtered that shit out immediately. Anyway, after that, you just go home and sit around, take it easy, follow the instructions to not mess up the stitches and the clotting. No straws, no suction, gotta avoid the suck. I expected it to be an uncomfortable few days, having 4 holes in your jaw and all, but it was not an issue at all. I took the pain stuff they prescribed on the first day, just as a precaution, as the numbing was wearing off, but when I woke up the next day, not in much pain, I stopped taking them, and it was completely fine. And that's not me trying to be Mr. Tough Guy over here. I would honestly rank having a cold as twice as annoying. You just don't open your jaw a whole lot, and you're mostly confined to a drinkable diet. Tomato soup and protein shakes got very boring, but in terms of discomfort, it's nothing to worry about. It was quite a relaxing vacation, really. I played some video games. It had been a long-ass time since I've watched Lord of the Rings, and I had never seen the full extended trilogy in one sitting, because when do you get the chance to dedicate an entire day to that? So I did that, and it was glorious. The most annoying part was about after a week feeling mostly fine, and being able to talk at a normal volume, but not really being able to emote or speak loudly without feeling like I'm about to mess up the stitches. So it took a while to get back to recording stuff, and I was also very lazy. But long and uneventful story short, I think I need to work on not being a terrible storyteller. But if anyone out there is anxious about a wisdom teeth removal surgery, don't be. And best of luck with your procedure, good sir. Alright, back to the normal stuff. How do you get armory credits fast? Well, I do have a video exploring everything there is to know about that. It is very old, but still relevant, I think. The most important part of that most people don't do, is AFKing in the HQ to be next to people opening drops. However, one thing that has happened since that video is a bit of a bug that still hasn't been patched. If you are a Master Prestige in either multiplayer or zombies, you can claim the upgraded 300 payroll credits as a Master Prestige. That part isn't a bug. But then you can go to the other mode and claim 200 more from the payroll there. So 500 every 4 hours, a very nice bonus, and it's pretty easy to claim payroll at least 3 times a day without setting timers or anything crazy. Just when you wake up, when you get home in the afternoon, and right before you go to bed. That's an easy 1500 if you're a Master Prestige. Could even get it 4 times a day if you stay at home, or 5 times if you're super dedicated and sleep less than 8 hours, plus the contracts and orders, plus HQ AFKing. Fairly straightforward to get 2,000 to 3,000 a day, combined with stockpiling drops makes earning event weapons a breeze. What kind of music do I listen to? I listen to more videos or podcasts than music, but basically only video game soundtracks and some classic rock mixed in there. How did you get into COD? Well, a good friend who lived on my block introduced me to Modern Warfare 2. At that time, I was not at all a console gamer, never used a controller, never mind having played a console first-person shooter, so I was horrible, had to learn how to move and all that, but I thought it was fun. Then I realized we actually owned a PS3 at home. I didn't even realize, simply because it was the cheapest Blu-ray player on the market at the time. So I bought Modern Warfare 2, had tons of fun learning how to not suck. I played the pit a whole lot. Then I went and bought COD 4 to play the campaigns, because it seemed like I should get Modern Warfare 1 before 2. I played a good amount of both those games, had lots of fun, and got every game after that. The rest is history. Favorite part about having a YouTube channel? Well, it's cool to be able to make something or share something and have people react to it and tell you what they thought was funny or helpful. A nice little ego boost, you know, and getting to meet and talk to people I would never have met otherwise, like hanging out in the Discord server. Quick little plug for that. It's always in the description if you want to join. I have nothing to gain by more people joining, it's just for fun. But yeah, it's nice to have a little corner of the internet to call your own, a wholesome community of people with similar interests and senses of humor. That's what's great about having a smaller channel as well. Like, yeah, having a big channel is cool too, to have a bigger reach. But along with that, inevitably comes more toxicity, because as your following grows, people will have higher expectations of you, and jealousy becomes a thing. If people see a guy with a big sub count make a video, it's easy to think, ah, that video sucks, I could do a better job, you don't deserve your level of success. So I'm enjoying the simple life of making what I feel like. And you guys are way too nice to me. I expect to live in a world of constant ball busting, but instead everybody is genuinely kind. How am I supposed to react to that? Anyway, I appreciate it. I love you guys. You have the freedom and means to do anything. What do you do? Well, I more or less already have the freedom. I'm fortunate enough to live where I do. I have my health, plenty of opportunities, but I am just a broke college kid, so I guess that's where the means would come in. Basically money. If I had a whole lot of money, what would I choose to do in life? Well, I'd want to help out my family and friends and anyone who ever helped me along. And then I think I'd do pretty much exactly what I'm doing now. I guess I could get top-of-the-line equipment and no longer have to buy everything as cheaply as possible. But I'm not into luxury. I'm not even that into traveling. I could fly around and visit some online friends. That'd be funny. But yeah, I think I'd still sit around playing games, making videos, and I'd still want to finish my degree. It sounds great to never have to worry about getting by and paying bills, but in terms of what I would want to do, not a whole lot would change. Do I put a lot of time into games other than COD, or do I plan on playing other games after World War II? Well, I only put about half an hour into COD each day, since the dailies I do now go by super quick. Only takes a few shipment games to knock out those Dom and Casey contracts, plus the orders. Only when there's a double XP shipment do I try to set aside the time to really grind it out, because that is delicious XP. After all, I'm getting to the point where I think I may actually end up pushing to level 1000. But in terms of other games, well, I'm trying to get away from the good old RuneScape at the moment. That's a thing I'll never truly escape from. I'll not play it for a year or two, then something will get me back into it. I'll go at it super hard, and after a couple weeks I'll either burn myself out on it again, or be way too addicted, get depressed at how unproductive I've become, and force myself to stop. But it's also the type of thing I can AFK in the background and work on other things, so it isn't so bad. But I can be very easily addicted to MMOs. Just look at how I play COD. It's hardly about the shooting. I play to grind XP and challenges. The only other games in the circulation right now are some light Pokemon Go whenever I'm out, and I still do the community days and whatever. I'm level 39, not quite 40, but certainly no casual. And then I do still play some PUBG with friends whenever we get the squad together. That's everything I'm playing for now, though. The only thing I see coming up will be Black Ops 4, which is very fast approaching. Interesting one here. On a scale of 1 to 10, how strict were your parents, and how did they feel about YouTube? I guess a 6? I don't know, hard to pick a number without knowing much about how other people's parents are. Are 1 and 10 supposed to be extremes? Is this a bell curve? I love my parents, I got no complaints. I would describe their parenting as fair. The types of rules they enforced I think were logical. I was expected to do well in school, help out around the house, clean up after myself, be a responsible, respectful, independent person, you know, basic stuff. As long as I stayed on track with that, we were all good. And in terms of punishments, there was no smacking around, there was no go sit in a corner. It was almost always the not mad, disappointed type of thing. Punishment wasn't arbitrary, it was always about making me understand the consequences of my actions. If I broke someone's trust or abused a privilege, then that would be taken away. I might even have to make a presentation to explain why what I did was wrong. That might sound very strange to people, I don't know, but I think it worked for me. It built a strong relationship of trust and mutual respect. It wasn't me versus them. I always understood that we were all on the same team here. That said, my mother was not a fan of the screen time. That was very limited, and that was definitely a point of contention. So I played outside a lot as a kid. I'm sure if left unchecked, I would have just been playing video games all day, every day. And as I've mentioned before, my early gaming days were all PC, because gaming consoles were just not a thing we bought. She didn't want them in the house. I guess out of fear it would consume my life, which it probably would have. I remember playing like Pokemon Red and some GameCube games at friends' houses, and that was so much damn fun. If I had my own Game Boy, that is where my entire childhood would have gone. So maybe I'm a more well-rounded person for not having any of that. Who knows? The first thing we did own was a DS, but I wasn't even allowed to use it at home. I only got to play it when we went places, like on planes and long drives. So that is when I got several hundred hours into Pokemon Diamond, because we went to a lot of karate tournaments. And now you're getting a very odd insight into my childhood. Suddenly, karate tournaments. I've never talked about that. But I guess that leads into how we had a deal where if I won 10 gold medals at these karate tournaments, we would get a good old Nintendo Wii, because it had the sale pitch of being a more active thing. And I did earn it, so finally I could sit around playing Mario Kart and various other things. And that led into how my friend introduced me to Modern Warfare 2. So you just got the prequel to what we talked about earlier. I should have done these questions in a different order. Anyway, that eventually led into making the YouTube videos, and then being like 15 or 16, the screen time limitations started to fade away as it became clear that this was a serious hobby of mine and that I was creating things and developing skills, not just wasting away in front of a screen. So that gained a bit more respect, and I was pretty free to do what I wanted as long as I kept my grades up, which was not that hard in high school. You did ask what they think about YouTube, and well, they think it's neat, but they would basically support whatever hobby I got into, as long as it isn't enormously self-destructive. If I said I really love crack cocaine, I'm sure they'd have something to say about that. But for the most part, if I'm happy, they're happy for me. So I love my parents. 2 thumbs up for the parenting job. There are some weird bits and pieces of my early life. And funnily enough, the next question is about a favorite Mario Kart game. Well, I did play lots of Double Dash at friends' places, so I do have fond memories of that. But Mario Kart Wii was the one I actually owned and played a ton of, and actually got pretty good at. I had a solid Wi-Fi rating, so it would be that. Same with open world Mario games. Played some 64 with friends, and also played the DS version of 64. But I sank the most time into the first Galaxy game, which I thought was a good one, so that would have to be the favorite. Alright, hello Mr. Sticks. My favorite band. Well, I'm not sure I have one. I did mention the classic rock earlier. It would have to be one of those. That's what my parents listened to, so even though I obviously didn't grow up in that era, it is effectively the music I grew up with, and I like it for that reason. So that would be a lot of AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Queen, Aerosmith, Pink Floyd, Rolling Stones. I went to a Journey concert once, but anyway, basically the whole genre. Gee, I wonder if you're a fan of Styx. Just kidding, I know you are, and I certainly approve. Also, what is your fursona? We know you have one. Right. And what makes you think that? Because I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about. Can't help you there. Okay then, I don't judge though, you do you, Mr. Dragon Man. Onward. Next we got Zachariah, thank you sir. What do you think about the whole Papa John situation? I haven't followed it a whole lot. I think the Papa dropped a spicy N-bomb on a conference call or something, and gee, there might be some backlash there. Not really a great way for them to handle that, but I'm sure they're trying, and I'm sure they're still selling pizza, so I don't know, gives us something to laugh about. And favorite movie trilogy? Well, odd that I happened to mention rewatching it earlier, because that would have to be the Star Wars prequels only. Just kidding. No, Lord of the Rings, of course, yeah. Thoughts on the past few CODs and the future? Basically the direction COD is going. Well, I think there have been some solid games. I wasn't a fan of Infinite Warfare, but I did enjoy reliving Modern Warfare. I think they're doing okay. I just know that I don't know what everybody wants either. You can't please everyone. Like, I could try to make a game that I think I want by fixing and adding things, but I know enough to know that I don't know what I'm doing, and I wouldn't be improving the series in everyone's eyes. The couple things I do feel strongly about is, my god, ditch the season pass stuff, provide free content to grow the player base, sell that large player base cosmetics, stop triple dipping, people are very clearly sick of it, and you're losing so much support over it. And 2, the completionist reward department never gets as much attention as I would like. Kinda topical with us now finally seeing some Master Prestige rewards come to World War II in late July. I know that isn't why everyone plays the game, but I would appreciate more attention given to the challenge, completion, and rewards, and there are always some issues with it that never get ironed out and just end up being a thorn in the side for the entire life cycle, because I assume not enough people care about it to get it changed. Where do I see myself in 10 years? Well, hopefully I'll be dead by then. Just kidding. But geez, I don't know, so much can happen in 10 years. That's a third of my life. The world will be a different place. Speaking generically, I hope to have a stable job I enjoy, a small social circle of people I enjoy talking to. Could even still be making YouTube videos if YouTube still exists. Who knows? Hard to say anything concrete. Do I think Sledgehammer lowered the skill gap for this COD to appeal to casuals? Not particularly. Yeah, they do certain things to appeal to new players, as they should, and I guess things are a little simpler, only having one basic training and stuff like that, but I think good players clearly do excel. People have 2+ KDs. Like, I'm not that good, but I have a 1.58 KD, I think. That means there must be a bunch of people on the other side with a 0.6 KD. So you definitely will do better if you know the game, if you have more practice. I think COD's a fairly casual game overall, but not a whole lot more so in this game than any other. Would I consider making a catch-all update video for War that talks about extra strategies I've found since making the guides? I actually did think I was going to do exactly that for a while. I kept a separate folder with clips of stuff here and there, like if you used Lookout on the right side of Stage 2 Neptune after retreating from the bunkers as a defender, you can see red names through the bushes and get easy kills through there. There was a growing collection of small tips like that, but I never really had enough to make it worthwhile, and as the life cycle continued, I cared less and less about war strategy, so I assumed other people also cared less, and everybody would also know more, so they would have to be some really good tips, and it just seemed like a thoroughly mediocre video, and I deleted the folder, so too late now, can't go back. But not a bad idea, I just don't think there's enough to say. I think the original war guides combined with the cavalry update video do a pretty good job of summarizing war. Am I a parent? Unless you count all the kids I have on candy shelves around the world. No, I'm not equipped to be a parent. You might think I am older than I am. Girlfriend or wife? Also no, not really interested in the amount of time and effort that would take right now, maybe later. Would you ever do a face reveal? Well, ever? Yeah, for sure. The current meme is that I said I'd do it for Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, so I may have to follow through on that, we'll see. Do you follow competitive at all? I never got into the COD esports scene. I don't know why. I loved following Pro CSGO for a long while. I watched tons of that. COD gameplay just isn't as interesting to me. The pacing, the strategies, clearly the pros who play it are very skilled at what they do, but I think it's safe to say there's a bigger skill gap in CSGO, so it just looks more impressive to me. I don't know, COD competitive, just not for me. And opinions on the pros influencing the game too much, that thing. Yeah, definitely seen those complaints. I can understand where it comes from if it feels like the general player feedback is being ignored in favor of what a few pros have to say. Yeah, that ain't right, but in terms of the changes that have actually been made, I don't hate any of them. The FG-42 nerf, sure, it might have been fine without it, but it's still a good gun. The bar is still good. I think all the rifles are usable. Feels like a well-balanced weapon category. They didn't go too far. They left the M1 Garand alone, despite it being more of an issue in the hands of the pros. And there is something to be said for the pros knowing what they're talking about. It's their job to identify and use the best weapons. That's good info when you're looking to tune weapons. Meanwhile, the player base doesn't always know what they're talking about. Case in point, everyone being mad about a War XP nerf that never happened. That doesn't mean that player complaints should be ignored. Clearly a bunch of people unhappy about something should be addressed. But I've personally never had any problem with the pro player influence. Are you going to do any more comedic videos? Well, I'm not sure what you mean by comedic videos. Are you saying I used to make funny videos and I don't anymore? Geez, man, words hurt. Why you gotta cut me deep like that? Yeah, I don't know, comedic videos. You mean the stupid April Fool's Day stuff? I don't think any of my videos are very comedic. I'll try to throw a joke in here or there, but it's mostly guides, updates, or just talking about nothing like this video. Why do I keep doing Q&As? Well, just so happens I answered that in the intro, because I'm out of original content. I don't know, they're fun to do once in a while. I did skip doing one for the Undead event, because I felt like I was getting some repeat questions. It didn't really feel like it, so I just opened those drops and recapped it briefly in the Reticle Mastery video. So it's not like I'm spamming out Q&As, but if there's some time in between them, they're enjoyable. And this should be the last one for another long while, so I don't know, man, it's just for fun. Do you has a big pee-pee? Yeah, buddy. Maybe you just wanted me to read that out loud, in which case, enjoy. Feel free to clip it out, make it your ringtone, have fun. What are you doing after the Q&A? Well, I will make sure it's all saved correctly, then maybe go make some food. I got some chicken breasts in the fridge for like $2.99 a pound. Great deal, man. Maybe make some of those. Then start editing this thing down into something decent, while AFK fire making to 120, of course. I might have to go into the office tomorrow, so I don't know if I'll have the Q&A done to post Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning. After that, I can work on some campaign stuff until Tuesday, when the prestige rewards hopefully come out. Gotta look through all that. It should be cool. Okay, that's probably far enough into the future. Is Sour Patch Kids my favorite candy, or what is? And thank you, man. No, really don't like them at all. My name is just dumb and random. I'm not a big candy fan. It would have to be something not really a candy, like a brittle or an almond roca thing. Definitely prefer chocolate if you consider that candy. Then anything Reese's related is good. Maybe a Ferrero Rocher, those are awesome. And now, towards the end, we have Mr. Blue breaking the record for asking the most questions ever. This one tweet is not all there is. So how about we do a lightning round and try to fly through? Do you like the shield? Not really. I don't have a big problem with it, and it isn't used much anymore, but I don't think it made the game better. Favorite weapon in World War II? Gotta be the post-buff M30 drilling. F2000 ACOG or Modern Warfare 2 shield. Well, I had MW2 shield classes, and they were fun, but if I could only use the shield, that would be bad. So, I guess the F2000, it wasn't that terrible, it just kind of sucked compared to all the other OP guns. Fall or Red Tiger? I guess Red Tiger aesthetically, but Fall was the higher tier unlock, so I would use that anyway. Have I played Modern Warfare 2 lately? No, but I did just pick it up on Steam, because I figure I will want to play it when Modern Warfare 2 Remastered is announced. Not worth setting up a PS3 again, though. Will I buy a BO4? Yeah, why not? If Modern Warfare 2 came out though, well, yes, I would rather play that, but I don't see why that would come out this year. How's life going? Not too bad, all things considered. One tweet down. Favorite World War II camo? Well, Chroma Flux. Just kidding. I guess the Royalty Tiger level 1000 camo that just got revealed. Would I prefer AW Royalty? Yes, of course. The Mastery camo just needs to stand out and be distinct. That's all I care about, so that people see it and know that you wasted your life on that thing. Anything would have been better. Gold, diamond, the pure black camo. Chrome is just a fairly normal weapon finish, and there are tons of other supply drop camos and variants that look just like it. It doesn't look bad, it's just plain. I did see the Master Prestige reward tease, and it does look cool. and there obviously will be more for lower Master Prestige levels as well, but it's also annoying. I don't want a camo for hitting level 1000. That's why I grinded out Chrome Tiger. Make Chrome Tiger look that good, for God's sakes. When I hit level 1000, everybody can see that I'm level 1000 because it's next to my name. So I still kind of want to show off that I no-lifed Chrome Tiger as well. I didn't just use the PPSH all the way to 1000. But the level 1000 camo is just infinitely better. So I'm a bit salty about that. Feels like they still don't understand how this works with wanting to show off your accomplishments. If I had to rate World War II at launch and currently, it definitely got better over time. A solid 23% better, I would say. Winter collections are back for the weekend. Yes, indeed, I will be claiming those at the end of this video. Favorite division? I guess Armored is still really good. Boring, but good. Favorite basic training? Specialist is fun, but it would have to still be Blitzkrieg. The buffed streaks are fun on shipment, but above all, it gives you the full score value from score streak kills. So instead of a fighter pilot giving 25 score, because it isn't supposed to help you earn the next streak very much, it gives you the full 100, or 75 in Dom, which translates into XP, so that's awesome. Live HQ Flak-on events, yes, they are indeed back, and very frequent. One just happened in the middle of this thing. Also, I tweeted about that yesterday. It seems like a couple of them are happening every hour. Who knows why they stopped for a month there. Favorite game mode other than the war stuff? Well, shipment is a playlist, so I'll just call it a game mode, and if I can't answer shipment, then I don't have an answer, because it's the only thing that holds my broken attention span anymore. Is my bank account nice or slim? Geez, getting a bit personal. It's fine, I guess, but not very nice. Hair long or short? Fairly short, not like buzzcut though. I have trouble answering any type of favorite blank question, in case you haven't noticed. There are things that I like and things that I don't like, but it's rare that I have one thing so far above the rest that I consider it a favorite. So I really have no clue. And then it appears you start trying to steal my identity. How likely am I to recommend a PlayStation to my friends? Not at all, because all my friends know what a PlayStation is, and if they wanted one, they would get one. Favorite season or weather? Something moderate, so around springtime. Still enjoy World War II? Yep, wouldn't play it if I didn't. Battlefield, have not played much of it, no plan to buy BF5. Not that I hate the game, the closest thing to Battlefield that I've played, aside from a bit of the hardline beta on PC, was the 2010 Medal of Honor, which was a lot of fun. Favorite shoe brand? Is that something people think about? Do you use females in CoD for hitbox advantage? I did not think that was a thing. Are you a sweaty? I don't think so. I just mess around on shipment using dumb classes for challenges. How do I feel about sweaty pro controllers? Like scoofs, I guess? I don't know, if you want to drop 300 bucks on some paddles and knock yourself out, I do not care. Thanks for the questions, Mr. Blue, my god. Finally, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? The answer is 5, and that is an easy mode tongue twister as far as tongue twisters go. Alright, that is all the questions I screenshotted to answer. I did skip some if I felt like I've answered it before or I just didn't know where to take it. Don't take it personally, but I suppose now whenever I stop talking, I will be at the end of this opening, however I decided to edit this down. I don't know, so I'll be back to go through what we got. And we've got our final drop, number 400. Nothing special. Alright, time to go through these collections. We should have unlocked plenty of them. And I gotta claim those winter ones as well. Operation Overlord, yeah, we've got plenty of stuff in here. The Type 100, okay. A 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6. Overlord is looking pretty good. Of course, some of the fresher ones, not so much, but that's fine. I do not need to buy any of them. I really don't need to. Alright, Winter Siege. It's about time. These have been done for so long. The only reason, of course, that I didn't get them is that they ended the event like half an hour early before the time they said they were going to end it. So I thought I could leave it to the last minute. Apparently not. Learned my lesson. I don't think they've done that again, but I've been very, very safe ever since. And now 3 of them have somehow managed to never be unlocked. So these are the 2 cheap ones. We'll buy those. Finally spend some credits on something. Not that I need these guns at all. I have heroics of all of these guns. Yeah, alright. That's done. I'll buy the other 4,000 one, and then I believe we have 1 Winter Bribe, which should definitely clean up the 7,000 one. No clue where this Winter Bribe came from, but I got it at some point. I think that is what we needed, and we got backflip as well, alright. And there we go. Some trench coats I have no interest in ever wearing. But Winter Siege is finally complete. I can sleep at night knowing I'm not missing old event collections. All these things are done, and Liberty Siege looks like we have completely finished with no need for the Liberty bribes that I saved up. So, that works, I guess. These things are not hard to earn.
You want a medal?
All of the events checked off the list. Operation Overlord can wait. We're looking good. Got another HQ event wrapping up. Yeah, I had 8 Liberty Strike bribes saved up. You basically get one every 30 games you played during the event with that daily order that kept repeating. So, yeah, didn't need those. Let's check out some weapons. SVT, we got the OAO, that's all done then. No more SVTs to get. Gewehr, we got the Chiller finally, so the Gewehr is all done as well. The Type 5, we got the Chivalry's dead and the Show of Force, so that is done as well. And the AVS, we are missing the base variant, so I'll get that whenever they put it up. But we got everything else. That does look very nice. I have not used this thing much at all yet, but it seems like it should be good. And this does look very clean. And may as well check out the Chivalry's dead as well. The Type 5, not a great weapon in my experience. The Grand did not need more accuracy. I will take the fire rate, thanks. The Type 100 got the checked out collection done, but the Empire 2, still missing that one. That's too bad. The MP40s, yeah, we've been missing a lot of these, but now we have a second Heroic in case I want to use that one instead. And the Sten, we got the Frosty done. Alright, check the Sten off the list. Alright, the Nambu, we did pick up the Dragon 2. Very nice looking variant, and I'm always happy to pick up a new Heroic. Well, that's the closest to the Chrome scale that we're gonna get. That is cool. And the ZK as well. Got the checked out in the Thunderlog, but missing that Heroic. Picked up the AK. I think that wasn't in supply drops for a while. I think they fixed that. The hand warmer, that's done. And the Stinger is done as well. A couple extra epic carabines. How exciting. Right, the Type 38 Ronin 2. It is invisible. That does look good. Too bad I'm almost done with the Type 38 challenges. In fact, I could throw Chrome on there. Not Chrome Tiger yet, just need to finish up a few more headshots. But yeah, that does look good. Another epic lever action, not a big deal. And another epic PTRS, also not a big deal. And then there's this epic De Lilse that I got a couple times. I noticed it just a few drops in. I don't remember anything crazy in the secondaries category, no, just some winter melee weapons. And yeah, there's fire axe up here a couple times. I should actually customize my emotes. That's something I never really took the time to do. I don't really need salute. We can make that the backflip. We'll keep the sit. Out of breath. How do we replace that? Undercover hero? What's that? Okay. Rope. Uh-huh. That is a lot of emotes. I am not looking through these. High kick. Alright, it's heroic, whatever. And I want to keep thanks on there as well. Well, that's all, folks. 3 hours of Soldier 25%, 5.5 hours of Weapon XP I don't need, and 3 hours of 100% pointless Division XP. Thanks. Yeah, I maxed Cavalry in a day because you gave us double Division XP, and it doesn't take that long. Thanks for the insultingly pointless XP, though. Well, only 250k credits to go to the ultimate goal. I like how my armory credits are growing at almost the exact same rate as my level. So we could hit level 1000 at the exact same time as 1 million armory credits, which would be very funny. I look forward to seeing you again, perhaps on Tuesday, for some Master Prestige rewards. That would be cool. Thanks for the questions, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you then.